Dahlhauser will be doing a signing at the Kolinske booth in T-minus 6 minutes. Right at 2 o'clock, Phil Dahlhauser will be at the Kolinske booth. And by the way, you can still see Stadium 4 from the Kolinske booth. So go get yourself in line and wait for the big man, Phil Dahlhauser at Kolinske in 6 minutes.
Talk. Hello.
I can hear you.
I'm here. Okay. Yep.
Roger that.
Okay. Beautiful. To Mark. I was going to say, Maddie, that's going to be a quick travel day for you.
Ooh, I don't do what he does. Yes. Is this better? Did we get this dialed in?
Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not hearing Matt. That's fine. I just won't bring them in until I know we're good.
Me now?
As we get into the afternoon here in Austin, Texas, things are only getting dialed up. Next up on our championship court, it is going to be a doozy of a matchup. It's the #1 versus the #4 seed. And the crowd is filling in, rightly so. It's Melissa Humana-Paredes and Sarah Pavan, the #1 seed, making their return on the AVP Tour in 2022. And they're actually facing off against Sarah Hughes and Kolinske, the #4 seed in the tournament and the recent winners of a big tournament in Itapema, Brazil, picking up a gold on the FIVB Tour, and a new partnership formed between Hughes and Kolinske. Cameron Irwin and soon Matt Bishop will be joining me on broadcast. You can see things are still heating up in Austin, Texas, reaching above that 100 mark. And boy, oh boy, I think it's about 70% humidity out there. So trying to stay nice and dry and cool are our fans here in Austin, Texas. But I can give you a little bit of an update on these two teams because they are coming out of the winners bracket, picking up a win yesterday, moving them on to Saturday, and actually make that 2 wins yesterday for both of these two teams. So to get you the best introductions in all of sports, we've got Mark Sherman down on the sand.
It is that time. It is time to send a team to the semifinals for the first time in 2022. We just came off a fantastic morning here in Austin, and we were ready for the second half with the final round of the winners bracket. And let's get this thing started, shall we? This first team, a brand new team on the AVP Tour. Now, we know both these players very, very well, but to see them together is a special thing, and they have had a hot start to their career, just coming fresh off of a win at the FIVB in Brazil, and now looking to do their thing and make it straight to the semis here on the AVP. First up out of USC, let me hear it for Sarah Hughes. And her partner, the blocker, coming out of Pepperdine University, give it up for Kelly Kolinske. and their opponents who have had plenty of success already on the F5VB World Tour starting back in 2017. They call themselves World Champions and Olympians, ladies and gentlemen. First up, this player, one of the best blockers in the world, the queen of the stuff and stare. It's Sarah Pavan. And her partner, 2017 most improved player in the world, 2018-2019 best defensive player in the world, also one of the best setters in the world. Are you kidding me? You just do everything. And she's constantly smiling. I can't help it. I can't help smile when I look at you too, Mel. Let me hear it for Melissa Humana-Paredes.
The stage is set, and our number 1 and number 4 seeded teams on the women's side of the draw now getting ready to get going. Some of the premier blockers on the AVP Tour back out on the sand. You've got Sarah Pavan. She is now a 2-time Olympian coming off an Olympic run just a while ago alongside Melissa Humana-Paredes, who is now at the back line. She will be your defender. They are the 2019 world champs facing off against Sarah Hughes, Kelly Kolinske, making their AVP debut together here in Austin. Sarah Hughes with the first swing and make it the first side out point. Hughes is on the board. Sarah Hughes, a USC Trojan, surely cheering on her team as they make their trek through Gulf Shores. National title happening this weekend as well. Big swing from Melissa Humana-Paredes. Pavan and Humana-Paredes finished with a 5th at the Olympics.
Now, waiting for that one. Easy does it down the line. 2-1.
Humana-Paredes and Pavan up 2-1 now with an advantage, but yes, they did finish off with a 5th in the Olympics. And a big swing from Kolinske. How about the option play? We gotta love that as that ball comes off the platform beautifully from Sarah Hughes, setting up her partner. Getting the offense involved early for Kelly Kolinske. Kolinske wasn't able to compete a year ago, dealing with some injuries last season. She said she's fully healthy now, feeling really good. Was dealing with a little bit of a knee injury last year. One of those many married couples on the AVP Tour between Billy and Kelly Kolinske. Billy competing on the men's side. Ace serve, Melissa Humana-Paredes. Attacking that right sideline of Sarah Hughes, and about as sharp as you can get attacking from the antenna. Sarah Hughes with a nice cut.
Both these teams won both their matches yesterday.
When you've got a blocker the size of Sarah Pavan, she's 6'5" in front of you. You're going to have to find some really tight and tough angles, and also make sure to give a lot of space as they find the first side switch on stadium court. Definitely have to leave some room for the block and the length of Sarah Pavan. Lefty off the block. Sarah Pavan, not only a phenomenal beach player, 2-time Olympian, and the lefty, but also a 4-time All-American. There's only 3 players who have ever done that in the indoor game. Logan Tom and Carrie Walsh. Bev Oden also being the 3rd. Sarah Pavan was the 4th on the list. She was also back in 2006, the NCAA champion as well as National Player of the Year. So the pedigree is just through the roof for Pavan as she looks for swing and a shot there.
Finding a way to get it to the ground, Sarah Pavan.
6-4 for the #1 seed. Hughes, nice soft contact on that serve. So fun if you watch her platform when the pace is coming at her. Watch what she's able to do with it. Just a quick little soft release of the platform to be able to keep that ball on her side of the net. Nice transition. And instead of just hitting the angle, finding the sharp angle. Out of the middle. And Mel bringing the heat. Humana-Paredes and Pavan have moved their base back to Toronto in terms of training. Did a lot of their off-season training. And a former airline hangar that has now turned into a beach volleyball facility. Trying to find some warmth in Canada. Seven, 6 now. For the last few months, though, since about February, they've been out in the South Bay training alongside most of our AVP athletes. Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, even down in Redondo. Big swing. How about the dig, Sarah Hughes? Great vision off the left hand of Pavan. Humana-Paredes and Pavan looking for their 3rd title together on the AVP Tour. They do have their names on the pier, having won the Manhattan Beach Open, as well as the Hawaii Open. But they find their hat trick here in Austin. And another option play. The nice part of having somebody like Sarah Hughes on your side of the net, the ball control. Not only does she get it up there to be able to potentially run her own offensive system, but also tossing it up for the option. Kelly Kolinske doing a nice job. And another quick snap. And this is what we have been seeing internationally from Hughes and Kolinske for about the past month to 2 months. It's been so fun to watch plays like this. Not only is that ball dug, but it's perfectly placed to add pressure, and especially in transition. That time a little bit too much. The platform goes above the angle of Sarah Hughes' head. Hughes, one of the great players coming out of the collegiate game. Her rookie season was back in 2017 on the AVP Tour, in which she did win a title, her first title with Kelly Clays. High off the hands. 9-all. All right, well, if you're hearing Matt Bishop now, that's Maddie Bishop joining in on the airways, 10-9. Good to have you with Matt.
Well, technical difficulty there on my side. We needed a short break.
Gonna feast one to the technical timeout. And talking to both Humana-Paredes and Pavan, that was an area of focus for them in this offseason. The service pressure, they talked about how much the game has evolved just in the past few years and the increased need for service pressure to get teams out of system. Up and over the top. They also talked about being rangy as we now hit the technical timeout. I think teams start to run so much more of a rangy offense, right? So you're starting to see different sets, different tempos, and that can really change the complexity of a team, can't it?
It certainly said, Cam, it's hard to defend a hitter like Sarah Pavan or Melissa Humana-Paredes, but when you're adding in options, things of that nature, you've got Sarah Hughes and Kelly Kolinske who are changing paces, moving the ball around on the net. It really adds a lot to the read that you have to make and requires a lot more out of the defender to be in the right place at the right time.
Versatility is key, and the more you can gain some of that through reps, practice, moving the ball around, we see so much more offense as you take a look at the winners bracket on the women's side. This is where we stand. So you see 1 versus 4. That is our first matchup on the winners side on this Saturday afternoon. Cannon and Sponsel are going to be facing off against another solid new team. And if you look across the board, there's only one partnership in those 4 teams that has remained the same in the past year, and that is Humana-Paredes and Pavan. Hughes, Kolinske, a new partnership. Cannon, Sponsel, new partnership. And yeah, that's going to be a good one because it is former Olympic partners now facing off against each other, and Sarah Sponsel and Kelly Chang, formerly Kelly Clays. You're not going to want to miss that one.
Nice up from Mel.
French
Just
fries
missed
on
the
the
shot
board.
there. It's been, you see the partner shuffle, Cam, and it's not uncommon after an Olympic year for that to happen. Everyone started jockeying for position, who's going to be the best option to make a run for the next Olympics in Paris. But, man, I think Sarah Hughes has been the big winner so far. She really looks rejuvenated and is playing outstanding volleyball.
Well, and to your point, she had hoped to be in the Olympics herself this past Olympic season for the 2020 Olympics. However, she was partnered up with Summer Ross previously, and Summer suffered a pretty severe injury, so she had to step away from the game of beach volleyball. So that was during the qualification process where Sarah Hughes realized she had to wait for her shot, and she knows they're just about 2-3 years away from her shot at that next Olympics. The qualification starts in about a year from now.
So this year you'll see a lot of development on the women's side. You may see another shakeup as we get into the qualification period. Man, early indicators are that Kelly are pretty good to go, and Melissa Humana-Paredes are going to be gold medal contenders once again.
Looking from the right side, the on-one is potential. And actually, this is something we've seen a lot of from Sarah Hughes, watching some of her matches internationally. She digs a lot of balls purposefully straight into the net. Why?
It is oftentimes a way to make sure that your blocker doesn't move. You put it right back on her, give her a second to just come down and set you a nice, easy set. That time quite will work out.
Yeah, giving yourself a little bit of an extra contact. It's almost like having a 4th contact out there. Good block time to get back down.
Buys a little time. I'm not technique. I like buying the time with the ball in the air rather than when the who works for you, and Sarah and Kelly do a pretty nice job with it.
They stay on Kolinske on the left side. And another nice shot. They're putting the block of Sarah Pavan into the angle at times against Kelly Kolinske. And that's a tough job to have to take down, but the 6'5" block hoping to do just that. You see the late move into the angle, a 4 block call.
ends up being a pretty easy ball for Kelly Kolinske to convert there.
There's a look at the hitting efficiencies for these two teams, already through the roof for both. Hughes and Kolinske, 667. And as a note, Humana-Paredes and Pavan came in to Saturday's action having played 2 matches with only 3 combined hitting errors. And there's a big swing. Add that one to the kill list for Sarah Pavan.
And then the put away. Aaron stay on top by 1.
Nice cover there. It's a decent block by Kelly Kolinske. Sarah Pavan, good reaction, sets up her partner, and that's an easy play.
And an ace from Sarah Pavan, like I mentioned. Service pressure is an area of focus for Humana-Paredes and Pavan, but Pavan said she really had to switch her mentality from the offseason, saying she really took pride in being errorless in a lot of facets of her game. Then she realized she's just got to go for it, take a little bit more risk in the service line.
And 3 straight for Sarah and Mel. Get out to a 3-point lead. 17.
But she hits a ball from an angle that few people in the women's game can hit. So be aggressive from that angle, and not everybody gets to see that. Gives you a huge advantage.
Well, and to your point, it's not necessarily just in terms of service pressure, the contact point, how that ball can travel across the height of the net from that service line, but also even in terms of her attacking too. Her ability to go up and over blocks or around the block, her vision is so different, makes it that much more challenging, which is why this has been one of the top teams in the world and the world champs from back in 2019. And so nice to have them back on the AVP tour in 2022. And we're having such a blast here in Austin with you. Hey, if you haven't already gotten some, might as well head on over to Torchy's Tacos, because that is my favorite place to find some good food in Austin, Texas. But this place is so lively, so much live music, fun places to go. You got to find yourself, maybe it's a little Kona Brewing, maybe it's a White Claw hard seltzer in the hand, because we've got them aplenty here at Krieg Field. Cameron Irwin alongside Maddie Bishop. And the sun is beating down on us, but we're beating down on the volleyball court. Here's Sarah Pavan back out of the timeout.
Tough way to come back out of a timeout as she's trying to go outside shoulder on Kolinske there. Really work and didn't quite connect.
Short serves, Mel. And right up the middle.
She's so dangerous when you put her in the middle of the court. She's got so many tools that she can work around that block. That time she just goes for it. It's pay dirt.
And a great touch. Again, the height of Sarah Pavan. If you are not 6'5", you are not touching that. That's a tough ball to try and go up and over the top of that block.
No, and again, Melissa Humana-Paredes gets an open net, takes full advantage of it. She's crafty, she's got power.
Team 15. They stay on Hughes. And a side out, much needed for Hughes and Kolinske.
As we switch sides at 16 and 19.
It's a tough act for Hughes and Kolinske to come in here and face Mel and Sarah so early in the tournament, but you got to think that they're going to learn a lot about each other out of this match. Playing against a player like Sarah Pavan, it's got to be good for their growth overall, even if it doesn't go their way.
And the ball falls to the stand, and you are right. As a reminder, this is in the winner's bracket, and this is a double elimination tournament. So the loser of this will have a shot to come back around through the contenders. Right now, we've got to finish up the first set. Kolinske. And getting some net love. Steph's kiss.
Kolinske with her 7th or 6th kill. Her and Sarah performing very consistently, both hitting well above 500. Siding out very well here. Couldn't ask for a better way to start.
An aggressive swing at the polling block. And wow, what a set from Sarah Hughes. Over 25 feet there.
Sarah Pavan was astounded at that one. She had no idea that ball was going to get back that close to the net. Kelly Kolinske takes advantage of it. And yeah, Sarah Hughes playing with confidence, to say the least.
Well, and right now, back against the wall a little bit, you've got to find some defense. And you can see underneath the umbrella for Hughes and Kolinske. Might be able to listen in and hear some of their game plan. Humana-Paredes and Sarah Pavan working with a new coach this year, Sergeant Vesco. He's Serbian and has been a part of the international game for years. They talked about how they're rebuilding their foundation, even though they've been a partnership for so many years. They decided to switch things up and are now rebuilding their team dynamic as that ball falls into the net. So out of the timeout, the first set goes to Humana-Paredes and Pavan. 21-18, the #1 team reigning solid.
The AVP is brought to you by Waikea Hawaiian Volcanic Water. Sustainably sourced and naturally alkaline. Live aloha, drink Waikea. By Fabletics, premium performance apparel that won't break the bank. By White Claw Hard Seltzer. And by Clean Skin, high performance sunscreen and skin care products for the outdoor lifestyle.
Dear Mainland, aloha. My brother and I hear lots of you have discovered a real Hawaiian favorite, Big Wave Golden Ale. That's the good kind of stuff, yeah, bro. Maybe it's the island flavor that makes each sip taste like a little vacation.
Got your beers here.
That's a whole lot of little vacations right there, huh, brother? That's like a big vacation. Retirement. One life, right? Mahalo. Big Wave Golden Ale from Kona Brewing.
Errorless. That is Sarah Pavan on yesterday's play, and today so far she is exactly the same. Sarah Pavan and Melissa Humana-Paredes picking up the #1 spot in the tournament and the first set in our winner's bracket matchup between Humana-Paredes, Pavan, Hughes, and Kolinske. Second set just about to get underway. Sarah Hughes is going to start us off. Cameron Irwin alongside Maddie Bishop, and it has been a great day here in Austin, Texas, as we are now into the afternoon, and the heat is still raining down. Ace serve, Sarah Hughes.
Big start from Hughes there as she comes out, goes aggressively at Melissa Humana-Paredes. Nothing new for Mel to be receiving serve, but Sarah going big.
Again, Cameron Irwin alongside Maddie Bishop. And so far, 0 blocks in the first set on both sides. And there it is.
Right on cue, Cam. That is a high level of professionalism, Cam Irwin. Well done. It was a very even first set.
I don't know why, Maddie. I just felt like it was coming, and so I felt like, you know, I'm missing my Nostradamus, so I'm trying to fill in for him.
This is how you become the gold standard in beach volleyball broadcasting, Cam. You were.
Hey, but she was
having a little conversation here as to whether.
She literally just said she hit it first.
That was a two-handed attack. I don't think Sarah got that first.
Because Sarah didn't touch it and it was still on their side.
I think that's the right call. Can't do that.
She even said she hit it. I did not hear that, and Steve and I both said you hit it first.
Illegal attack.
Call it back to go.
So Kelly Kolinske and Sarah Hughes trying to make the argument that Sarah Pavan touched it first, so they were trying to redirect off of that. However, not sure that that is what took place or not. But regardless, Pavan and Humana-Paredes got the point and returned the favor. Ball into the net.
It'll be interesting to see if Hughes and Kolinske can keep their composure here as they, very even, very well played first set. They've got to make some changes and something to do just a smidge better.
And again, big time showing up. It's one of Sarah Hughes' favorite plays, and it's on purpose. She digs that ball straight into the net, giving Kelly Kolinske time to pull it back out.
Well, I remember the first time that technique was, that I heard that, and it was Casey Jennings who was talking about doing that, and I thought it was just crazy, but God, it worked so well in that situation. What a cool play.
Yeah, Sarah Hughes, one of her favorite players and mentors, Missy May trainer. And definitely picking up some lessons and some tips from her as well throughout her career. And you can hear our officials talking about the water. These athletes definitely downing the Waikea water as they cross the net. And with conditions like they are today, our officials doing a nice job making sure everyone is well taken care of, giving a few extra little water breaks on some of those side switches, as they are very necessary in this heat.
Seen Sarah Pavan miss that outside shoulder a couple times. She really wants to push the play wide to that side, makes it easier for her to get up into a blocking position. You got to make the serve first.
Well, and it's interesting to your point about where they're adding the service pressure. A lot of teams internationally have been challenging Kelly Kolinske in the side-out game. And it is a little bit of a difference. Pavan and Humana-Paredes have switched it up a little bit in both set 1 and into set 2 in terms of where they're facing for the side-out. They stay on Sarah Hughes, that right sideline.
There's a touch of a breeze, Cam, and they're playing it into that breeze on the outside shoulder there and hoping for maybe a little bit more effect than the wind has given them so far.
Well, and also when you're attacking from that close to the sideline, as you're going to see Mel working a little bit more into the interior of the court, it becomes challenging. You put somebody like Sarah Hughes out of the middle, whew, she'll cut you up. Whereas if you put her maybe to the outside of the court, maybe she'll be a little bit, not only still a shooter, but also maintain some of that power and pace. It just takes more swings. I feel like they've got maybe a little bit of a better scouting report against her in regards to that tactical position. Right now, they're getting nice touches on Sarah Hughes. Kelly Kolinske chopping that down the line.
Strong play, and it is a game of angles, so Sarah Pavan takes away that high line just by being able to get her hands up there, slow that ball down for Melissa Humana-Paredes. She picks it up. Kolinske, a nice job turning this ball back away from the block. Sarah was diving into it, just couldn't quite get there. That may work against a player like Sarah Hughes or Kelly Kolinske, but Sarah Pavan's going to hit from that angle all day. If she gets wide, she has that high con that's going to push her right back in.
Ace serve, Humana-Paredes.
Service pressure, Cam, there it is. Outside shoulder, outside shoulder, outside shoulder, and then catch them right in the middle. They're doing a great job of mixing it up. What a game plan from Melissa Humana-Paredes and Sarah Pavan with the serves. Changing sides. Wind is at their back a little bit now. We'll see if they keep with that same strategy against Hughes.
Transition set from Pavan. Beautifully placed. She gets underneath that ball. Now, I did talk to her, and she said, Cam, I've been working on my hands. They've come out just a time or two. So if we see them this weekend, we got to make sure we give Sarah Pavan a lot of love, because I'm waiting for them, Sarah. They've got to show up. One of the great bump setters in the game. Speaking of bump sets, how about that one from Sarah Hughes? Incredible save.
Athleticism gets them out of trouble there, and the service game really giving Sarah and Kelly trouble right now. They're really caught guessing, and they need to figure out how to get consistently into their offensive set.
Dropping that right in front of the defense of Sarah Hughes. $11 kills now for Sarah Pavan. And again, 0 hitting errors.
That's why you don't see her get served very often.
Now they switch it up. Kolinske. And big block. Pavan goes wide with her hands there.
She goes to Kolinske. That lessens the likelihood of an option. See if she goes back.
And Kolinske finding the corner again. And actually both Sarah Hughes and Kelly Kolinske have been finding some options. You watch some of the tape on them as of recent. And if Kolinske is seeing the service pressure, Hughes is not shy to work in there. It's actually an area of emphasis that they've also been working on, trying to alleviate some of that pressure.
Up the middle of the scene, Sarah Pavan.
Pavan gets served again, terminates again, and it's been probably about 7-8 years now since that development started coming aggressively into the game, and it's made it so much more strategically interesting.
And that ball is wide. Hughes just slightly falling out of that attack as we are at the technical timeout. 13-8. Team Canada, Humana-Paredes and Pavan with a solid advantage after picking up the first set. And you know, it's fun to catch up with Hughes and Kolinske because they have been very steady in their rhythm. That's one of the conversations they talk so much about.
But rhythm and comfort, and when you're playing comfortable on the court, Cam, it's so much easier. So much easier to execute everything.
And there is the waste management serve of the day, and it's ace coming off the hand of Melissa Humana-Paredes. Again, that's the waste management serve of the day. We've been talking about service pressure this whole time, and again, it's an area of emphasis for this #1 team in the 2022 AVP Austin Open.
Pair of aces for Melissa. They've done a great job of really mixing things up, keeping Kelly and Sarah guessing, not letting them get into a rhythm. You know, and when you're uncomfortable, when you're scrambling, when you're guessing, it's really difficult to execute a game plan.
Picking up the cut, slapping that back over the net. Hughes from the left. The pokey redirect.
Sarah Hughes' vision. Nice up. Good dig by her. She did a nice read and then sees the open court. Keeps that ball in front of her. She's got an outstanding approach.
Well, in communication, again, you just heard it there on the stream between them defensively. It's an area that they feel like is one of their strongest. One of the best strengths they have is their communication in between points. And I asked Kelly Kolinske about it, saying, well, when can you make adjustments? Because if you're so adaptable, it doesn't feel like, you know, volleyball, you have that much time in between points. And she said it's usually in between points. It's quick nuggets of information, and we're really good about picking up on things and having that efficient form of communication. Sarah Hughes with the dig. Kelly Kolinske, nice run. Hughes at the net. And Kolinske goes on one, but it's too long, trying to take a book out of her partner, or a page out of her partner's book, but a little too much.
Wind was at her back, or it probably would have worked. Sarah Hughes, I thought we were going to see her put up a block there for a second, but it's a good pull, nice dig. We go into the timeout here, Cam.
So 15-9, Humana-Paredes and Pavan staying nice and steady on top.
You can find where your favorite team will play next. Looking at the men's winners bracket schedule.
Good hustle from Kelly there.
Every tournament, exactly what happened in every match, including the stats.
And there's the last ball, just long off the platform. You got to like the heads-up play from Kelly Kolinske. And I mentioned the coaching chain
Switching over to the men's side
for Pavan and Humana-Paredes. There's also a coaching chain here for Sarah Hughes, as they're now working with Evie Matthews. He had previously been with Jose Loyola, but congratulations to Jose as he's picked up a big-time role with USA Volleyball on the beach side. A big congrats to Jose. As you look at the percentages, that's hitting efficiency for these two teams through sets 1 and 2.
Pretty big difference here in set number 2. It almost seems unfair to have Jose Loyola as part of Team USA. What an amazing advantage to bring one of the best Brazilian players it's ever been in, and bring him into the mix and have him work with all these young American athletes. It's awesome.
Kolinske blocked back, stays steady. Talk about composure on the transition set. That is not easy to do. Block and then come down and play that ball.
She has such amazing ball control to be able to do that. And, you know, she gets up, she's very aware. Melissa's talking to her the whole time from behind where that ball is. And they make it look very easy.
And again, you can see some of that frustration from Pavan as she misses that serve. But she's okay mentally with having some of those misses. Yeah. 17-10, now the #1 seed with the advantage. And push back, patrolling is Pavan.
Breeze carries the ball right into the danger zone. Sarah Pavan, you got to keep that ball away from the net. They went away from the service strategy a bit on that side, Melissa and Sarah did. They were going outside shoulder almost exclusively from the good side previously. That time they mixed it up a little bit. See if they stay on Kolinske here.
And a nice wrist snap from the right side for Kolinske.
Good composed side out from her.
Kelly's 11th kill in the match, hitting just 286. Traditionally, that number would look at it and say, hey, that's pretty good. But as compared to Pavan hitting 737, or even Humana-Paredes, who adds yet another kill in, hitting 522. Both Pavan and Humana-Paredes have 14 kills throughout these two sets. 19-11 now, just 2 away from the victory. Looking for the semifinal. Kolinske again working to the right side.
Kelly Kolinske finding some nice things to work with here towards the end of set 2. It's been a much different story than set 1, but we got a couple nice side outs and a pretty solid block there to build off of.
Building off that touch is Kelly Kolinske. Pavan transition. And that is Sarah Pavan's first error in 2 days as an attacker. This is her 3rd match.
That's amazing. You saw the great communication between Hughes and Kolinske on that scramble play.
And another great play off the touch block of Kelly Kolinske. Some of those plays are really standing out in terms of plays for Kolinske to really evolve that team's offense and defense.
She looks so dynamic. She's so engaged this year. It's really incredible to see. She's taken a huge step up since she's partnered with Sarah. It's fantastic. She was already very, very good. Now she's working on great here.
Yeah, And, you know, for Kelly Kolinske, she had, like I mentioned, had a little bit of a knee injury last year. She did play in Chicago, but then she decided, hey, I need to take a little bit of a break. So after Chicago, she wanted to get her body ready and get ready for the season. So she's been working with Mikhail Jenkins, one of the great trainers on the AVP tour, who's worked with several athletes throughout his time. They're also using him as well. She's been with him for about 3 to 4 years. And they say that he's just been phenomenal, knows how to really specifically train for each athlete's needs and pushes them past what they previously thought was possible in terms of their physicality.
15-19 out of the timeout. 4-point run for Sarah.
Back out of a timeout now. Hughes and Kolinske trying to mount the comeback. And that might help. A pass goes awry. And a tough option play for Kolinske on the right side. Tries to push that up.
Points at 20-15.
She's had a couple of those plays that are good ideas if they work. They're bad ideas if they don't. She maybe got a little bit over eager, tried to make a little too much happen there.
It is now match point for the #1 seed, Humana-Paredes and Pavan. They're going to have to earn it with a side out. They have some room to work here. Out of the middle. And shoving that ball through the block is Melissa Humana-Paredes. And the #1 seed wins 21-18, 21-16. They will be advancing to the semifinals.
Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, yes, Sarah Bell will be in the semis at 11 o'clock. Women's semis at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Here's a look
Sarah Pavan
at Melissa Humana-Paredes doing a solid job out of the middle. They brought the offense, they brought the efficiency, and they challenged this team of Hughes and Kolinske in some different ways. Hughes was forced back, side out. Kolinske also making great plays up at the net, but was not enough to take down the #1 seed, the Olympians, Humana-Paredes and Pavan. One more big congratulations to the #1 seed moving on to the semifinals. Hughes and Kolinske stay alive. They work in the contenders. Thanks so much for joining us, Cameron Irwin and Maddie Bishop.